So I have to ask the question, Kristin, why do agents need a co-brand? What's the point? What's the why behind it?
Like I said, there's multiple reasons as to why co-brand. And one of the largest ones, like I mentioned in our prior examples, is to really referral opportunities. You can leverage yourself on somebody else's name, if you will.
You absolutely can. And then it always helps to align your brand with other popular brands out there in the community. And again, stay tuned. We're going to give you some of those examples. But on a practical level, how can agents do this in social media? Tell us a little bit about how that actually can play out for an agent to leverage social media content, things like that.
I'm so happy you asked about social media. It's one of my favorite and easiest ways to leverage co-branding. As an agent, you always want to set yourself up as an area expert. You want to know about your area. And it's so easy to even tag local businesses in Facebook posts, Twitter posts, like, hey, found this great new restaurant downtown or this great new coffee shop. And you can even hold meetings at specific coffee shops or meet and greets or question kind of things at local places and leverage that on your social media.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You know, I heard of an agent up in Charlottesville that she holds a happy hour for her clients and her business partners, and they get happy. I mean, it's really cool how they come together and talk about those partnerships and bring value to one another. It's that win-win-win scenario. So talk a little bit more about not just social media, but how about content? What about some ideas of content?
I think as far as content goes, it's really great. You can not only tag people in your social media post, but you can engage in their social media post. Kind of looping back, there was one last thing I wanted to say about social media.
Sure.
But as far as content goes, you can mention those local businesses in your blogs.
Oh, people, love that. Yeah.
People do not realize how important blogs are in mentioning local areas and in coffee shops and breweries and what have you.
Yeah, you're coming across as sort of that digital mayor when you do that. So by all means, it's really important to make sure that you got those social mentions. Maybe even give them some link to their website locally, because it'll always come back to you. It's that whole law of reciprocity in play. So, and then we can also take this a next step further. And we mentioned this a minute ago. Is that whole networking aspect. It opens up yourself and your exposure on a personal level to more people. And obviously, anytime you can touch more people and let them know that you're there to help them in their real estate needs, then again, you're broadening your reach, you're deepening your reach. That's really, really important. And then, so we talked a little bit about those practical aspects of content marketing and social media marketing. I want us to dig into this now and talk about some really cool things that agents can do that are really, really creative. And the first one that we've talked about is maybe hold a luxury home open house and do it by RSVP. Now think about going back to BMW, going back to Louis Vuitton, and those sort of natural fits in a luxury environment. What are some of the people that you feel like an agent could bring into and co-brand with in a luxury open house environment? Tell me, you have any ideas about that?
Absolutely, I have some infinite ideas about that. Some of my favorite ones are bringing in local artists. I think that's a great idea. Even hanging local artists' work on the walls, I think, is wonderful.
Yes, hey, go ahead. You're on a roll.
I mean, when you think of luxury, you think of people that have a certain picturesque look to them. So people like personal trainers or people like boutique wine shops, like place things like that around.
Yeah, I love the whole wine thing. Can you imagine, a local boutique wine shop coming in and bringing in and I'm not a wine drinker by any means, but bring in the different wines and then let them have a tasting session.
Oh, I love that.
Wouldn't that be really cool? Just have have some sort of tasting session going on. And then one of the other things is if the home is located in the area that has amenities, lifestyle amenities, then bring in representatives from those amenities. So if they have, maybe the golf pro, the tennis instructor, anybody that's connected with those facilities, let them come in and be the spokesperson to show the value of those amenities in the home. And that way they're not constantly, the people that are attending the open house are not constantly hearing the drumbeat of an agent.
Definitely.
They're hearing a different voice.
I think bringing in those people from the local community is a wonderful idea because people are engaged and they remember those separate those separate faces.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh yeah, and it kind of gives that personal feel to the neighborhood. It's
Yeah.
not just like, I know a home and a house is very important, but getting to know your local community, that's like the first step to it.
Absolutely. So let's talk about another one. We got several of these, so we're going to try to get through these really, really quick. So we're experienced with helping communities with grand openings. With, like, here's an introduction. We're going to open up, spec homes and models and really blow it up with the media, things like that. So talk a little bit about how an agent can really co-brand when say they're the exclusive listing agent for a community or a builder. And so talk a little bit about what are some of the opportunities for co-branding when we're doing like a big celebration of a neighborhood grand opening.
I think when you say celebration and grand opening, the first thing that pops in my head is ribbon cutting. Have a ribbon cutting. Invite the local officials, chamber members, and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, you can always invite the local press and news media to cover those kind of events. Of course, that's going to mean you're going to contact you and say, hey, get your copywriters, get the Dakno copywriters involved in writing that press release about this big event. So on a practical level, that's some of the things we can do as well. Talk a little bit more about other local representatives that you might want to invite to be to those kind of big bashes, those big grand openings.
And I think this kind of goes hand in hand to what we touched on earlier, inviting people from local breweries, local wine shops, and personal trainers. It boils down to things like that.
Absolutely. And then any local vendors. Like you said, I love the whole aspect of local vendors. And then let's say that we're kicking off a brand new community, and it's like steps right out the door to the walking trail or the river. Can you imagine just inviting some local outfitter to bring maybe some kayaks or bring some apparel or shoes or whatever to be a part of that grand opening? So they expose. These are people that are really looking to be fit. They're looking to engage in that lifestyle that represents around that community. So, pulling in those different retailers and aligning yourself with those folks can be really, really cool. So I love the whole aspect of this big celebration of kicking off a new neighborhood. All right, now we've got to get into the niches, because niches are really important. In fact, there's an old saying in marketing, that's where the riches lie. Niches really offer some great riches. So I'm going to just lead off with this one because I know Gail. Gail Blonner is a Dakno client. She's up in Pittsburgh. And I got to tell you what, this gal is so super smart when it comes to targeting newlyweds. And so she's even got the Dakno team to build her a special landing page for newlyweds. So think about all the co-branding opportunities that Gail could really dig into with, targeting that particular segment. And I mean, I immediately think about all the things that are connected to weddings. And by the way, it's been a long, long time since I've been to one of those. I mean, I just celebrated 44 years of marriage, so, all those ideas of what is, wrapped around a marriage or a wedding, I kind of lost track of. But, I mean, I can only imagine, like, wedding planners and bakers and people that help, rent tuxedos and where you go buy your dress. I mean, it's just endless. And, of course, now we're talking about maybe even going to an expo. Have a booth at the expo where you can introduce that you're the expert helping two households come together.
Bobby, I think that's such a great idea. And it doesn't have to be something just like weddings. You can do equestrian lifestyle, or like if you specialize in customized brand new buildings, you can partner with the builder and get your name out that way as well.
Absolutely. So those are all really great opportunities for co-branding. Let's jump right into that whole aspect of aligning your brand with need-worthy organizations. That's easy for me to say. Need-worthy organizations locally, so that agents and agent teams can really show they have a heart. So let's talk a little bit about that. So tell us, how do agents effectively do that? Because we got several. In fact, we got more than several. We got tons of agents that do a great job of that, and they make sure that all that happens on their website. That's really important. So talk a little bit about maybe who those agents are and kind of how they go about that.
We have so many agents that have such an impact on their community and in surrounding areas. I think it's very refreshing because it's easy to get wrapped up in your clients and in your business, and they definitely take a second to step back. Mm-hmm. And we have numerous clients that we have created landing pages for their outreach and whatnot.
Yeah, I can think of several right off the hand. Like Sandy Raines with the Range Group just has a bang-up page that, I mean, she's got multiple organizations that they focus on in their community there in Central Ohio. And then, of course, Linda Kraft does an amazing job. And I could go on and on. There's so many Dakno clients that are such givers, and they make sure that that's reflected on their website. It's not anything that's a boast. It's more of, these are people that we want to align ourselves with. We want to align our brand with them. And so they really do an outstanding job. So let's just kind of recap what we've been through, because there's been a lot of information shared today. So why don't you take it and kick off again some of the things we talked about today, just as a reminder for everyone.
Okay, wonderful. I think if you take one thing away from this, your biggest thing is know your audience. Know who you want to serve. Know who you want to align yourself with and market to.
Absolutely. And then, of course, make sure that their values and what they represent in terms of their brand is a good match for you. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities out there, so you just have to be smart about that. There are going to always be a lot of organizations that are going to come clamoring, to sponsor this and sponsor that. So you got to be really smart about how you spend your money, who you're aligning with. And then, of course, you did a great job of talking about just a practical execution of that. And so it's really about hitting social media and your blog and your content and tagging people and linking to people to show that kind of link love. I think that was an amazing job. And then tell us a little bit more about what we talked about today, the last couple of segments here.
Also leveraging yourself with local partnerships and local brands. Like I had mentioned earlier, it's so important as a realtor to put yourself as an area expert. And there's no better way of doing that than knowing the area.
Absolutely. And so in wrapping up, folks, if you'd like to learn more about how to leverage co-branding in your marketplace, by all means, give us a call here at Dakno Marketing. You can go to dakno.com. You can email us at info@dakno.com, or just give us a call at area code 919-877-8511. We'd be delighted to talk with you and give you some hints, some ideas about how we go about that strategy and executing that strategy with our clients. And if you'd like more information, be sure to reach out to us. Listen, this has been a blast. It's been so much fun. I've been away from the telecast so much lately, but it's good to be a part, and I want to say thank you for being part of this broadcast as well. Hey, folks, thank you for being a part of it, and we'll see you again next time.